living. What to do? Right? Wherein do we use what we know in connection with our everyday living? There is no good thing for which we may not apply the creative power of our thought as prayer. Nothing is exempt. Nothing is forbidden. It is equally applicable to all things, situations, conditions, and relationships. As for our new design for living, this is established in the third of the four requisites we mentioned as important for the effectiveness of creative thought as prayer. And as a side note, let me just say, it was mentioned about 3 pages before, so if you haven't got the book, get it. You'll know what he's talking about. The third of the four requisites previously mentioned is the declaration. Whether we desire health, success, happiness, joy, friendship, or anything else to make our lives fuller and more complete, we must first establish them as spiritual realities in our thought, then declare them as existing for us right now. We affirm them as being our experience as the result of the creative action of God as law on the word we speak, our word manifesting at the level of our understanding of God. We are always affirming something. We affirm we are sick or well, unhappy or happy, that we lack or have abundance. We are always affirming, but now we know what it is necessary to affirm and declare in order to have life be a joy instead of a burden. I could use more joy. How about you? I'm going to read through our affirmation once, and then I'll invite you to join me. I abandon myself to the genius of the universe, allowing the infinite mind to inspire me with creative ideas and the power to bring those ideas into form. Made in the image of the infinite creator, I create a beautiful life that I love to live, and so it is. Please stand and join me with conviction. I abandon myself to the genius of the universe, allowing the infinite mind to inspire me with creative ideas and the power to bring those ideas into form. Made in the image of the infinite creator, I create a beautiful life that I love to live. And so it is. Beautiful. Thank you. Before we move into our music this morning, I want to introduce our guest artist and guest speaker today.
And declaring. That's right. There is an understanding that when you stand in a place that you affirm as true for you, that is very different from, oh, the little mansy-pansy, and, but, what if, how, all of those things, the how, the but, the and. Those are distractions that turn you away from that which you say you are. That's right. From that which you say you're choosing to affirm. Most of us say affirmations, and before the affirmation is complete, we go, but that may not happen. See, it's not a conversation, it is your life. It is the very life that you are living. The words and feeling vibration that we carry. I'm very big into energy and vibration. That really calls me now. Because I understand that we vibrate at different levels. And so I begin my day affirming my vibration. I don't just kind of roll into the day anymore. See, I am on point because it is what? A new day. That's right. It's a new day. I think a couple of weeks ago, I was walking with a friend of mine on your beautiful bike trail, and I thought I saw an eagle. I was like, oh, is that an eagle? And my mind said, no, Gino, it's going to be very difficult for you to see an eagle. You know, they don't come out that much. It's rare that they come. So no, that's not an eagle. That's a pigeon that you just want to be an eagle. And I told my mind, shush, shush. See, I do my work. I do my meditation. I do my prayer. I do my vibrational work to stay up to part with where I want to vibrate. So the universe said, watch this. 2 eagles came flying right by me. I said, oh my God, that's 2 eagles. My friend said, oh, wow, right? He said, I know there are eagles that fly around here. He lives there. He said, but I haven't seen an eagle in 10, 12 years. And I said, you walking with the eagle manifester, baby. See, I declare that I see the face of God every day. That was the face of God shining as an eagle. Sometimes we think those things are coincidence. There is no coincidence in this universe. It is on point always. And it is looking at you wherever your attention is. So we continue to walk, and I love nature. I talk to it. I play with it. I smell the flowers. And I saw another bird. And I love birds because as I travel a lot, when I do get distracted with reality, what we call this present moment sometimes, or what is most of the time, birds shift me because they have a really good time. Have you ever seen a sad bird? I've never seen a sad bird. They fly, even if the wing is a little clipped, they be like, I can still do it. I can do it.
That's right.
They do, they have a good time. And so all of a sudden, this huge bird was sitting up on the electrical pole. And we were like, what kind of bird is that? So one of my friends, he loves that internet. He goes immediately, he finds the bird. It was a falcon. I said, wow, a falcon. So I turned to my friend and I said, I would love to see that falcon spread its wings and fly. Before I could get fly out, he jumped down and flew for me. He came around and flapped his wings. And I said, God, I see you. I see you that I'm participating with you right now, that we are in a dance of co-creation. I said, ooh, you show off you. See, I love knowing that the presence and the power is absolutely flowing through me. I don't have to wait for you or you to get in alignment. I don't have to wait for the political party to be yay or nay. Right. I am in the presence of God right here. I often ask people, what do you think God is, a Republican or a Democrat? Maybe a libertarian? Since God made us all, how would that be possible? That's right. This time and space is absolutely what each of us is called forth. We have come here at this time to declare a new awareness, to declare a new way of living. Everything from the old paradigm is showing up so that we can choose how we're going to live. And for some people that scares them because they think we all must have the same thought process. Impossible. Not the way God created us. Whatever you think infinite is, source, vibration, energy, not how we're created. Nature is not created in that form and matter. It is different. And all of its differences bring us joy, create a reality for us that supports us. So in this magnificent time where the old is coming up so that we can move through and create anew. We cannot stand from the old place saying, I like the way it used to be. Now, just 5 years ago, people were like, oh my God. But now could go back to the way they were. I don't know about you, but I like all of my toys. I like the technology. I like that I can reach around the world in a matter of seconds, moments. There are things that have called me to transform how we see them. Today I have a workshop called I Am Diversity. The elephant roaming the earth. It is our racism, our prejudice, our bias, our judgment, and yes, people, yes, we all are it. That's one of the things we must recognize, that it's not happening over there. If there was a button we could push, be like, oh, we just push that button and it's all cleared up. The button is us, each one, each individual. And what I really love about this time is that it is time for us to create a new story. A story that doesn't rely on you liking me in order for me to have a good life. Did you get that? Yeah. You liking me in order for me to have a good life. You are not my responsibility and I am not yours. We are responsible to the highest level of consciousness. That is our responsibility. For those of us who are in this teaching, as Jesus has said, if ye believe, ye can move a mountain. What are you believing in? What are you declaring daily? Are you declaring that the world is coming to an end? Then in your world, it is. Are you declaring that your body is breaking down and it cannot rise above? Then that it is. Are you declaring lack and limitation? Then your bank account says, don't come over here. You know there's nothing in here, don't come over here. What are you declaring? We're in a teaching that requires our responsibility. To be responsible for what we're thinking and feeling. To be accountable, not to someone else, but to ourselves. And I know, I see some of you like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be accountable. One way or the other. See, the joy that we sometimes think we have to seek outside of ourselves, the joy is within. True joy really comes from within. When I started to understand that there is not a thing outside of me that can continuously be a space of joy. You know when you want something really bad and you get it? All about maybe 4 hours. Then you'd be like, what's next? That's nice. You know, it's Christmas time. You'd be like, oh, as fast as you open it, you'd be like, okay, next. Sometimes we don't even play with it or use it. We'd be like, You are here to co-create. It's a beautiful thing to desire. It's magnificent to want to express more daily. That's the beauty of it. But we must understand that what we are thinking and feeling is showing up in our world. The thoughts that we have had for so long, they're showing up and showing out. What are you going to do now? There is an opportunity to create your day daily because it is a new day. But a lot of us wake up with yesterday. Somebody talked to you wrong. Somebody didn't do something. You turn on the TV, the politics. One of my friends, she calls me in a huff. I said, why are you looking at that channel? I've got to know what's going on. I said, no, you don't. You already know what's going on. When are you going to make a decision to do something different? You know? When? That's right. No, we'd rather be comfortable complaining about what's going on than saying, okay, Here's my opportunity. My cousin said to me, because I don't look at the news. When I'm at the gym, that's the most news I get. CNN, breaking news. I'm like, everything is breaking news for them. Breaking news, breaking news. But my cousin said to me once, he said, Gino, I look at the news to know what I can do, how I can support. I said, you're better than me, because it was manipulating me. But now that I know that my call is to be a space of joy, light, energy, that's where I focus at. And in that, the kingdom of heaven within me opens up new possibilities for me to share that. What are you opening up to every day? If you open up to the same struggle conversation, the same complaining conversation, the same thoughts and feelings that make your body and your mind feel depleted, you feel tired. That's because you're in the energy of the problem, the challenge. The solution is so much higher. And trust me, there is a solution to everything that's going on right now. Absolutely everything. Spirit is never without an answer. And the answer, always, yes. See, there is no in the vocabulary of spirit. That's our conversation. Spirit only knows yes. About a month ago, I was in Ventura, California, at the beach. I decided to check in and watch the waves and count the waves. I was like, oh, I can't count all these waves. They never end. The abundance of the universe just never stops. Constantly the waves are coming. I was like, okay, let me go to the gym. As I got back in my car, I noticed that my tire was running kind of funny. So I get out and it's flat. Now, here's where the work really comes into play. Because the old Gino would have been fussing, oh my God, I came to look at God and look at this. Look what I got. But I understood something in that moment, that God is in that tire too. That this is a moment for me to declare who I am going to serve in this very moment. In this instant, who am I going to declare? Who am I going to serve? So I looked at the tire and I said, I know that God is in you. So I know that all is working out. Let's go get some air. So I went and got some air and put some air in my tire. I was like, okay. By the time I got to the gym, the tire was flat again. I said, oh, I said, ooh, I got a flat tire. I said, God, what are we going to do? See, I understand I'm not alone. I don't have to figure everything out. I must trust in the invisible presence that God is working, even though I don't know the answer. I said, okay, should I go to the gym? And I started laughing. It's like, girl, it's almost 5 o'clock. Get your tire fixed. Okay. American Tire is normally where I go because I travel a lot and they're all over. So I find this place and I go to American Tire and I go in and I'm very playful because God and I are we're in this beautiful harmony of creating something, and I can feel the presence of God. I'm not worried, I'm not stressed. I'm like, I know that you got it, work it out. So I'm playing with the presence of spirit. I'm like the birds flying free. And when I walk up to the counter, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he was like, ma'am, can I help you? I said, well, you certainly can. So I give him all the information on my tire, and he goes, oh, that's an Audi. I said, yes. He said, well, you have to buy 4 tires. I said, well, you're going to have to call Audi. Ma'am, I'm telling you what it says in the book. You have to get 4. I said, and once again, you must call Audi and have them buy them. So there was another guy in there. He started cracking up. This guy not having a minute of it. And then he goes, you know what? We don't even have the tire anyway. I said, is this American Tire? And he leans over the counter. He goes, "Depot, depot, depot." I said, "Woo, you are a feisty one." I said, "Well, if you put some air in it, that will be sufficient. Thank you." Now, there were times where that would have thrown me out. I would have been out in the world looking at what is, talking about what the heck is going on and how is this happening to me. We think when contrast, problems, trouble, whatever you call it, is going on, that something is happening to you, when actually something is birthing through you. It's a beautiful, powerful thing, because it's birthing you to a higher level of living. But you must be open to receive it and not fight it. So as I sat in my car, I was like, American Tire gotta be around here. And I found one that was 5 miles away. So Gino said, "Okay, I'm right by the freeway. I can jump on the freeway and get there quick." Crazy thinking. But as always, the universe supports me. A motorcycle cop came right by me as I was getting ready to get on the freeway. Pointed to the tire, rolled down. "You can't get on the freeway. Get this car off the street." I said, "All right." Now, human stories were still running. I'm sure some of you are wondering, why didn't she call AAA? I mean, bam, bam, boom, it would have been done. But look at all the juiciness I would have missed out on. There was juiciness happening, and I wanted to be a part of the juiciness. So as I sat there at the Shell station with my hazards on, I love Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you guys know about Abraham Hicks, but if you don't, Esther Hicks is a channel for Abraham. Infinite light, infinite source. And so I'm listening so that I can keep my vibration high and I can stay in the juiciness of what's going on. And just then, a little lady came up and tapped on my window. So I'm fumbling with the volume, trying to get the window down, and she says, "Are you okay? Can I help you?" I was like, "Oh, no, I'm good, thank you." I'm still trying to fumble with things. I said, "I'm good, thank you, thank you." And as she walked away, I was like, "God, you just show up everywhere. Wherever I go, there you are." So when she came out of the store, I got out of my car, and I said, "May I hug you?" And we both got a little. She said, "That was so sweet." I said, "That was so loving of you to check on me. You didn't know who I was." So I said, "Don't worry, I'm all right." Now, at this point, I said, "Okay, Gino, go ahead and call AAA." Now, I'll tell you my thinking. See, the human thinking was, I have called AAA enough. They gonna tell me, "Gino, we're not coming to get you, girl. You have exceeded your time." That was the fear of Gino. So I had to work up that vibration. And see, these are the little things that we don't recognize that are running us. And they're constant, whatever the story is, if it's your health, if it's a relationship, if it's your career, there are little stories that you have running as you say your affirmation or you say that I trust in God. But usually where we put our attention on is the fear. We put it on the anger or the judgment. And we go, "God, change that." Well, that's not what God is here for. God is not here to change something outside of you. God is here to elevate the beauty of who you are. Elevate, transform the magnificence of who you are. So AAA came, and now I talked to American Tire. They told me they closed at 6 o'clock. AAA got there at 5:46. So I said, "Well, Gino, you're probably going to have to catch the bus home because they're going to be closed by the time you get there." I said, "But you know what?" I said, "God, I haven't been on the bus in a long time. You know, I'm going to get to meet some new people. I'm going to sit back and relax. I won't have to worry about the traffic. Oh, this is going to be yummy." So the AAA driver and I had an amazing conversation because I was plugged into Source. And so the conversation he shared with me was very personal about his life. And we even had a little prayer. And when I got to American Tire, he hugged me. And the guy at American Tire said, I think that's the friendliest AAA driver I've ever seen. I said, well, you know, I have that effect on people. And he just smiled. He said, all right. So we started talking about my tire, and I said, I know. He said, don't worry. We'll get you out. You're here. So I'm like, oh, no bus trip. Okay, I'll take that, God. Thank you. And since I'd gotten tires there before, he said, you're Gino Walker. I said, that's me. He said, well, let me check and make sure it's the tires that you bought tire replacement on. He came back in with a big smile. He said, yeah, only $11 to get a brand new tire. I said, hey, all right. I love it. Thank you so much. So as I'm sitting there in the joy of spirit, recognizing that everything, every step has taken me on this beautiful journey, this magical experience, when we start recognizing that the contrast, the problem, the trouble, whatever it is that's going on in our life, it's calling our attention. It's a doorbell saying, hello, it's time to move from where you are. See, my journey was to trust what I could not see. In the moment, it's easy to do it when you're feeling good. When everything is checking is green, all the lights are green, it's so easy to do it then. But the real work comes in when you do it when everything is easy. When stuff shows up, you go to God first, not to the problem. You recognize the problem as an opportunity. That used to bug me when people would say that. I don't want any more opportunities. I've had enough opportunities to be rich. Please let the money just flow through. So he came back in, he said, Gino. I was like, oh. He said, your front tire. We didn't see it, but it's really low. He said, that was worse than your back tire. I said, oh, okay. I said, what you saying to me, Bill? What you saying? He said, well, that tire will be about $195. I said, that's a fantastic price, Bill. It's a fantastic price. It's just not a price for me today. He said, really? I said, yeah. So I said, you know what? And I looked up and I was saying, God, you better work it out. I said, we'll work it out. He said, well, let me ask you something. What would you pay today? I said, what do you mean? He said, what would you pay today? I said, 25? No problem. I'll change it. Now, I want you to pay attention here because it's not the manifestation. That's where we get distracted. It is the work that I have been doing all along that day. From the moment I recognized that the flat was there, I was in conversation with God. I was in a divine communion with Spirit, and I was trusting what I could not see. Even when they came up with a price that I was like, oh, that's too high. That's where we love to go. That's just too much money. Why would you ask that kind of money? That's ungodly. That's out of alignment with all that the universe is. Now, they didn't tell me this, but they changed 3 of my tires. 3 tires were changed for about $60. Brand new. The manifestation is important. The work to stay in the presence of God. That's the importance. That is your joyous opportunity daily to commune in a way that you recognize God is in your bank account. No matter if it says $2.50, $2,500, $499, $1.9 million, $8 million, it does not matter. If your body is aching, no, speak to that point. Speak to that part of your body and say, I know that God is in there working. I'm going to hope that this pain can ease. If you're having challenges in your relationship, speak to that and know that God is them just as well as it is you. That God is your partner, God is your husband, your wife, your children. If it's in your career, God is your career. We must begin to really do the work that we say we are here about. And when we do that, I'm looking for the band. When we do that, when we recognize that we are always in divine harmony, I want to read this beautiful quote. And actually, it says, we should believe that God is the invisible partner in our lives and affirm that divine love goes before us and prepares the way. Now, see, that's declaring something. We like to say those kind of things, but to live it means to live it without but. But I just got fired from my job. But I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent this month. But my body doesn't feel good. But my partner isn't working with me. There are no buts in God. I know you're worried. Don't worry. It's okay. You can clap for that. Because there are no buts in God. And it's when you know this, when you can start to vibrate at this level, when you can start to allow your energy to just ooze out in a way that you see God before you see anything against you. There's nothing against you. Because you are a child of God. Just quickly, I was raised Catholic. And I got a 3-day suspension because they told me that God was all there is, but there was a devil. And I said, I don't understand. I did a little bit more than that, I will say. But if God is all that there is, there can be no but. Declare that God is your life, it is your substance, it is the very breath you breathe. There is no but pumping your heart. That's the vibration and spirit. And when you can stand in that space, you'll be able to know this.